Oh, hello, hello. Welcome to the pilot episode. Are you excited?
I am excited.
Awesome. So, welcome to the Two Dumb Botches podcast. If you're tired of hearing all of these older gentlemen explain wrestling to you, let two 20 something year old girls explain wrestling to you.
We know nothing about life, but we do know a thing or two about wrestling. So,
Let's go ahead and get some introductions started. Would you like to go first?
sure. So, I'm Liv. I've been watching wrestling since I think I was about 11 years old, but I kind of grew up around it because my dad's always watched it my entire life. I got into the wrestling writing space probably a couple of years ago now. I worked for a couple different sites, and then I got my current job at Wrestling Inc. doing live coverage.
Awesome. And then my name is Angie. I first started watching wrestling when I was about 6 years old. Rey Mysterio was my freaking hero. He was the first non-white person I saw growing up on TV, and as a person of color, that was super important to me. So I watched wrestling for about like a year or two after that. Then I kind of grew out of it. As kids grow up, I got it back into it during the pandemic, and my first like legit WWE match as an adult that I remember was Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks, now known as Mercedes Moné, at WrestleMania 37. And I saw that match and I was like, this is something that I want to get into. So I'm currently going for my master's in English. And kind of related to that, I got my job at Wrestling Incorporated. This is my first foray into sports journalism, wrestling journalism, but I've done a lot of research about pro wrestling through like an anthropological lens for my undergraduate degree, and then for my master's thesis I'm writing about wrestling as a form of revenge tragedy theater. So that's where I stand in the pro wrestling sphere. Just a quick note, while we are both writers for Wrestling Incorporated, these any opinions expressed in this podcast are expressly our own. This does not reflect any official stance from Wrestling Incorporated. And another disclaimer, we absolutely will get off topic, but I like to think we're pretty funny, so you might want to stick around for the shenanigans we ultimately get up to. So, before we get too off topic, let's talk Saturday night's main event. We are filming this on Tuesday, January 28th. So Saturday night's main event was a whole 3 days ago. We've had a lot of time to digest it, and I still have strong feelings about it. I still have very strong feelings about it.
The only nice way that I could put it is that it was really boring.
I mean, okay. So the matches were cute, right? Like
Yes.
I don't remember having a like bad experience. However, I did fall asleep at the beginning of Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu. I set a timer on my phone. I was like, I'll wake. This was during a commercial break, and I was like, I'll wake up in like 5 minutes. I was just it wasn't the event itself wholly. I had a long day before that, but I was like, all right, like I'm gonna set a timer for 5 minutes and I'm gonna take a nap during commercial break. I wake up and I'm like, what are Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman doing on my television? So if that tells you anything about Saturday night's main event,
Yeah, see, I was working, so I didn't have that choice. And the funny thing was, I was gonna say Strowman versus Fatu was like the one match that I really liked from the show.
yeah, I mean, like I said, like Rhea Ripley, Nia Jax, Braun Breaker versus Sheamus. We're not gonna talk about that contract signing, not now at least. And then Gunther versus Jey Uso. There wasn't a bad match on the card, but I feel like this could have been a weekly show. You know how like sometimes you get out of a phone call or a meeting and you're like, that could have been an email? That's what Saturday night's main event was like.
No, I agree. And like my other problem with it, or I guess my thing with it, is that I wasn't super invested in any of the storylines, especially because they weren't very built out or like fleshed out.
Hmm.
So it kind of made the show more boring to watch when you have a whole bunch of matches that you don't really care about or aren't super invested in, especially if they're like reruns like Braun Breaker versus Sheamus, which they've done I don't even know how many times on Raw.
They have to have done it like at least 3 times.
Yeah, like whether it's singles action or triple threats or whatever, I know they've done it a bunch of times. I know they ran it at Survivor Series War Games with Ludwig Kaiser too. Like it's to the point where it's so played out and it's like, okay, let's give Breaker a new opponent.
It's also like, I mean, Sheamus and Braun Breaker, great wrestlers, obviously.
Yes.
Um, I just feel like god damn it, this match though, this match though, I feel like they could have done more with it. They're both really good, but I wish they had done more.
Yeah, I agree. And like the fact that Breaker can keep up with Sheamus so young into his career, because he's only what, like 3 years into the business or something?
Something like that.
Yeah, like he really did keep up with Sheamus. It's just I didn't care and they had ran it before, so it's like, okay, let's do something new here.
Definitely. It feels like Braun Breaker versus Sheamus at Saturday night's main event is like the Braun Breaker and Sheamus match that you kind of try to ignore. Like if you're showing someone a Breaker v Sheamus match, you're showing them Survivor Series with Ludwig Kaiser. You're showing them any of their other contests instead of this one.
Yeah, or like it's the part during Raw that as good as Sheamus and Breaker are, it's the part during Raw where you kind of go up to like get a snack. You know what I mean? Because you're kind of like, oh, I've seen it before.
That's crazy. Not the bathroom break match.
Controversial opinion, but that's what we're all about.
Speaking of controversy, Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens,
I
contract signing.
I hated every second of this, just so you know. I really, really did not like it.
I can see why they did it. Shawn Michaels, San Antonio boy. They're in San Antonio. They're gonna bring out Shawn Michaels. I didn't think it was like horrendously bad. I did because I feel like, and we've had this criticism ourselves, and a lot of our colleagues have had this criticism where Cody Rhodes kind of cuts the same promo every time. I feel like because of that, Kevin Owens has always had the upper hand on Cody in this feud to the point where it's like, is Cody actually the face here? But I think at Saturday night's main event, Cody kind of gagged him. I feel like I really liked seeing that more aggressive side of Cody, and I hope, as the streets are saying, that a Homelander version of Cody is coming for WrestleMania 41 season. So I hope the streets are right on that one because I would love to see that more aggressive side of Cody after we've seen this kind of face of the company, super chill guy for what, a year at this point, over a year.
Yeah, and I was gonna say Cody, great character, love him, great wrestler, but his current gimmick is very boring and it feels like there's not much more that can be done with it. Like it's just very stale at the moment, so a change for him would be really good. And I do appreciate that this Kevin Owens feud is kind of bringing that out in him. That being said, though, I feel like every segment that features these two has just been the same thing over and over and over again. Like it's Cody will call it Kevin, and then Kevin blindsides Cody, and then they brawl. And like this contract signing, there was a little more verbiage to it. You know what I mean? Because it's a contract signing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was the same thing. It was they talked, they signed the contract, and then major brawl that involved Shawn Michaels getting in like a super kick on Owens, which is not super interesting to me anymore. And I'm kind of ready for the feud to be over and just Cody to have his more like a more aggressive side to him because I think it would be more interesting to watch.
Definitely. Um, Jacob Fatu absolutely destroying Braun Strowman.
Oh, I love Jacob Fatu. He's literally one of my favorites in WWE right now because he's so good.
Yeah, and for good reason. Like, honestly, I hate when people are like, a man of that size shouldn't be able to move like that. But Jacob Fatu's agility is seriously so amazing when you consider the rest of his moveset. Because he's typically operating more as a powerhouse, right? But when he hits that moonsault, it is like, it is so mesmerizing to watch, right? Like, you,
It's the best in the business, yeah, and especially, like, with his position in well, I don't know if the bloodline technically exists anymore, but, like, in the bloodline as a strongman, when he can pull out things like a moonsault, it's, like, even more impressive.
Oh, absolutely. And then Braun Strowman actually absolutely getting decimated. I'll be the first to admit that I'm not riding the Strowman Express, right?
Me neither.
I I but as boring as Braun Strowman is, I can appreciate how he's willing to put over not only Bronson Reed, who is tragically out of action right now, but also Jacob Fatu by taking what it was like 3 moonsaults, 4, something like that.
Yeah. No, it was more than that. Oh, I have
Oh,
it was 7 of them, or
so
6 of them,
double what I
sorry.
said.
Yeah, there's or no, sorry, those were the hip attacks, so he hit a whole bunch of moonsaults on Strowman, and then he hit 6 hip attacks on him. So he took a whole bunch of moves there.
I think it was the other way around, but point being, Strowman, you gotta give respect where respect is due, and appreciate how Strowman put over Fatu like that.
Yeah. Like,
It's not even putting over in like a self-sacrificial way, you know, when it's like a passing of the torch. I don't think it's that because Strowman dominated that match. And it was really impressive to see Fatu kind of like pay his dues. Like, yes, he's this huge thing, but like it's good to see a wrestler who's willing to take down a beating, even if they know they're eventually going to come out of it on top. Does that make sense?
it does make sense. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So yeah, Fatu and Strowman. I was honestly, if you couldn't tell by me sleeping through the first couple minutes of it, I was the least excited for that match on the card, just because I'm like, yeah, Braun Strowman saved LA Knight from a blood, god damn it, a
A
bloodline,
bloodbath.
a bloodline beatdown. They happen so much that I've come up with a new phrase for it. No, a bloodline beatdown. I get that Braun Strowman saved LA Knight from it. I didn't really see the connection,
No.
like the narrative connection between that leading to a match with Jacob and Braun, but I understand that WWE wanted to have their big guy versus big guy match, and I think that that ending really made it stand out from other big guy versus big guy matches. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it was memorable. Like it would left images in your mind, or like an image in your mind that made you remember it. And I will agree, I was least excited for this match too, but like honestly, it probably ended up being my favorite on the card.
Yeah. Um Gunther versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. Are you yeeting or not?
You know, I don't have much to say about this one, but I will say that Gunther and Jay did what they always do and put on good performances. It's just I didn't really care about the storyline or this match just because the story was basically two verbal exchanges between the two, like over on Raw, where Gunther just said, "I don't take you seriously as a challenger, Jay." And then that was the entire story. So I was kind of like, about it. But like they're both great performers, so I can't really complain.
Also, I'm looking at pictures of Saturday night's main event right now, and the microphone they had Lillian Garcia use is absolutely.
The one with the double
It
thing?
looks like
Yeah, the
she's
two.
milking the microphone cow. I'm so get it out. What the fuck is this?
See, the other thing is I watched this show with my parents because we were like on FaceTime or whatever, and we all went, "Why is there two microphones on the thing?" Like
She's about to bust out a duet with someone, bruh.
I'm sure that's probably what they did back in the day. I don't know. We're young. We didn't watch stuff from the 80s.
Sorry, we weren't alive. Sue us.
Why is there two microphones? I just want to know.
She's about to sing "Shallow" from Lady Gaga's movie.
But it's just herself, so she's going between the two mics, doing the two different voices.
Yes. I'm so glad you received the brainwaves I was sending you.
Yep. I just love the song.
It's it's like half of her face is painted as Lady Gaga, and the other half of her face is painted as who was her male co-star? I don't know. Lady Gaga has had so many.
I think it was Bradley Cooper, question mark, one of the Bradleys.
I wanted to say Brad Pitt, but Bradley Cooper sounds more
I think
accurate.
it's Cooper. I know it's one of the Brads. I just don't know which Brad.
We'll edit something in here if Bradley Cooper is not. And then I didn't realize that we were going through all the matches until halfway until I started it. But so let's go back to the top. Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax for the Women's World Championship.
Yeah, see, I love Rhea. Rhea's mommy. Rhea will always be mommy.
Per.
It just again, I didn't care about this match that much,
Yeah.
especially because Nia's coming off of her reign as women's champion over on SmackDown. And in my opinion at least, she should be feuding with Tiffany Stratton, not chasing another title so shortly after losing her previous belt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
She's moving on too quickly. Rhea Ripley feels like her rebound.
Yeah, which
Rebound Ripley.
Rhea's not a rebound, let me tell you.
Per. But yeah, match wise, it was cute. I feel like they pulled out all the stops really quickly, and it makes sense because Saturday night's main event was only like what 2.5 hours. All the matches were around like 8 to 12 minutes. I don't think any match went on for longer than 15 minutes unless um uh, you're collecting Jacob Fatu's post match attack as like a whole segment. But I don't think anything went over 15 minutes. So I feel like It was a move that surprised me, but a move that ultimately makes sense for them to pull out all of those stops, all of those Samoan drops, all of those riptides very early on in the match because they don't have a lot of time. This is a 2.5 hour show. They gotta show their hand and show it fast.
Yeah, and like I will admit, I've never been the biggest fan of Nia, but she did put on a good performance in this match. So I will give that to her.
She has improved a lot. I will say that.
Yes, and you know what also occurred to me about Saturday night's main event?
What?
It was shorter than both Raw and SmackDown because it was only 2 hours, and Raw averages on like 2.5 now, and SmackDown is 3.
This is what I'm saying. This could have been an episode of Raw. If this was an episode of Raw and I didn't have to take my Saturday out to watch this, I would have been ecstatic.
That's so fair. And like my one gripe with Saturday night's main event is it's not technically a premium live event, but it's also not a weekly show. So it's kind of this weird middle ground of like, okay, there's titles on the line, but also, and like stories heading into it, but also nothing is being built up too far in advance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I feel like I know that NBC probably like asked WWE to put this on because they do advertise it as like NBC special Saturday night's main event, right? I just wish they made the NBC special feel special.
Yeah, that's fair.
Why are you wasting my time? And isn't it's also like antithetical to kind of put a show on that doesn't really matter as an NBC special? Because once people catch on that nothing happens at these shows, nobody's gonna come in to watch. It's gonna be like AEW Collision. Sorry, AEW. Funny enough, more happened on AEW Collision this past week on the 25th than Saturday night's main event.
That doesn't surprise me. I just don't watch Collision at all because like one AEW show a week is enough for me, so I have no idea what goes on Collision.
Just very quickly, the rundown from like the highlight reel. If I don't cover your favorite AEW Collision match, my bad. Takeshita retained his championship. Timeless Tony Storm is back. She revealed that her like rookie Tony Storm gimmick was all an act. Um, and then House of Black is something else. I don't remember the name off the top of my head, and I'm gonna look for it as I talk to you. But House of Black re-debuted without Malachi Black.
Isn't it something with like HOH? Because I know I saw something about that on Instagram before you started recording this.
Hounds of Hell, yes.
Hounds of Hell.
I mean, I guess, but it's just exciting for them to come into their own, especially with Brody King as the new head, presumably.
I agree. I will say I do think House of Black is a bit of a cooler name than Hounds of Hell.
Malachi Black is no longer there. They can't use it.
I know, but I just like House of something else. So like, not House of Hounds because that would be really bad. But like, I just don't like Hounds of Hell. I think it sounds too generic for me.
Think that they're gonna have to change because you know how in Julia's theme song, which I listen to kind of a lot, embarrassingly a lot because it's a banger. Do you think they're gonna have to change that lyric in Julia Hart's theme song where it says the house always wins?
The house always
The hounds
wins.
always bite?
I would really like it if they changed it to the hounds always bite because that would be very funny to listen to. The rest of the song is the same, but all you hear is the hounds always bite.
Oh my gosh. Love Julia Hart. Julia Hart, sign my forehead.
Me too. She's such a queen.
What else is on our agenda? Royal Rumble predictions. Fucking 180.
Yes, I have thoughts about this Rumble.
Ooh!
Fine. Yeah, well, the entrants announced so far, on the women's side of things are Bailey, Nia Jax, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Liv Morgan, Io Sky, Ivy Nile, and Lyra Valkyria. And then on the men's, it's Cena, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Jey Uso, McIntyre, Sami Zayn, Rey Mysterio, Shinsuke, Logan Paul, Chad Gable, Penta, and Braun Breaker.
I wish they had kept Charlotte's a surprise. I feel like everybody kind of knows that Charlotte's coming back for the Rumble. She's been a lot more active on social media. I follow Charlotte, and she's been a lot more active on socials. So kind of gearing up towards that Royal Rumble return, right? I do feel like it's so dumb to waste Charlotte's Royal Rumble entry for the sake of promotional material because that's all that it is right now, right?
And I've said this before, is it would be a bigger deal if they kept it as a surprise, even though everybody kind of knows. Because it's still like, oh, well, is Charlotte Flair actually going to be in it? And if so, when is she going to come into the match? And now it's kind of like, oh, she's going to be in it. Eh.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest, like, even though Charlotte is a beast and she's coming back, I don't see her winning.
No, not at all.
Especially because she already has one Royal Rumble win under her belt. Have her if because I know the streets are saying Flair versus Stratton for WrestleMania, right? If she's gonna go for Stratton's title, have her win Elimination Chamber or something. Give the Royal Rumble win to somebody else.
And you don't even need it because they're on the same brand. You know what I mean? You can set up the match on SmackDown. You didn't even need the chamber, quite honestly.
I forgot about that because Charlotte Flair has been on WWE programming for like what, like a year at this point?
It's like a year.
Over a year.
Yeah, close to that. And they're on the same brand. So it's like she doesn't need the win. And yeah, I don't know.
I mean, the Royal Rumble, yeah, the Royal Rumble is my favorite match. I think it's one of my favorite pay-per-views, so I'm always excited to see Royal Rumble. Um,
Me too.
but I will say I'm not super banking on any of these contestants coming into it. If you asked me to bet on it, I would not.
No, and that well, actually, we were talking about this last night, like when we were working, is one of the things that we appreciate, despite all the terrible segments that were on Raw last night, but that's a different story, is that with this year's Rumble, especially like the men's one, it's really hard to predict who's gonna win because there's so many contenders between Cena and it being like his last ever Rumble, to Punk with the WrestleMania Dream stuff, to Roman, if the rumor of Roman versus Punk.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, but like even people like Jay Uso who are younger, well, they're not younger, but like, they're newer to being single stars, but they've broken out like this past year, right?
Yeah, he definitely feels younger, and that's what if people like Reigns, Cena, Rollins are showing us, even well into your 40s, if you feel young and you feel fresh, they're gonna, age kind of isn't a factor anymore.
Exactly. Even if you use slightly outdated slang terms like yeet, you're still using younger terms.
No, you're right though. Honestly, I was watching wrestle. This was like a couple months ago, but it was no, it was during Jey Uso's first Intercontinental title reign. Criminally short, by the way, but whatever.
So what's his tag title reign with Cody? But anyways, that's a different story.
That's true. That's what we're manifesting in 2025 is a Jey Uso title reign that lasts longer than 2 months.
And is a singles one too,
For
not a
real.
tag title reign with Jimmy Uso. Sorry, Jimmy.
Jimmy, peace, love, and unity though. But like, I
Unity.
feel like Jimmy should also get a singles title reign. I feel like they're long overdue for that.
I agree, and like Jimmy's kind of killing it on SmackDown lately. Like he's kind of found more
Yeah.
footing as a singles character than he did like last year. You know what I mean? Or like
When his
years
whole
ago.
thing was like no yeet, right? Even with no yeet, it feels like it was built off of Jay.
Yeah, but even you saw more of his personality when he faced Kevin Owens last Friday on SmackDown when KO was wearing like the Naomi shirt, and you could see him getting like angry about it and whatever because it was.
Yeah.
Like it's little stuff like that where he's starting to find his personality and his footing as a character that's not copying his brother, which is good.
Yeah. I'm really excited for both of the Usos. Hopefully their momentum keeps up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see Jimmy in the Rumble too, quite honestly, because I think that would be fun.
Oh, Jimmy in the Rumble? Yeah, that would be really fun. Um, uh, so we have a bunch of legends here, or not a bunch, but we have John Cena entering the Rumble, and I know that The Rock, even though he's cool with Cody now, do you see The Rock coming into the Royal Rumble?
I don't think he's gonna be in the Rumble itself because I think he's gonna save his next match per se for 41, just because it's The Rock and he wrestles what like once a year.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, we were just saying, like, even if you feel young, then age doesn't really matter. I can't say that The Rock feels young.
No, he feels very old and he's basically rehashing his gimmick from the Attitude Era, except it doesn't quite work as well like nowadays. Just because it feels really outdated and stupid and kind of childish, especially when he's a babyface.
Peace, love, and unity to you, Dwayne.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Don't come for me. I'm just a girl. Don't come for me.
We don't look. The Rock is a big name. We respect the career he's had. He's done great things in Hollywood too. It's just in modern WWE, yeah, not fans.
Not to continue slandering The Rock's name. Have you heard the rumor that he pees in water bottles on set?
Yes, I heard about that controversy and that what was it? There was something else about it. I can't remember what it was.
He has multiple controversies.
No, but the one on set was that he always shows up late, and I think he admitted that in an interview.
I think so the original allegation. So for those of us who need context, The Rock, everyone's seen the advertisement for Red One, which is like The Rock's like action Christmas movie. I don't know, which is really funny because it sounds like they're trying to have a Die Hard situation where people are like, "Is this action movie a Christmas movie?" But there's literally a Christmas tree on the like logo for Red One. So I don't know what the hell they're trying to do. But anyway, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Controversy creates cash.
Yeah, yeah. That's not the controversy though. So, this is less controversy and more like he almost got canceled. So, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, for those of us who didn't know, recently made I think it was for it was no, it wasn't for Netflix, pardon me. For Amazon Prime, he made a movie called Red One, which is like an action Christmas movie. And the streets are saying that Johnson was late to the set by like 7 to 8 hours, which is over half of the filming day, honestly.
That's a significant like, it's not a short amount, it's not like 10 minutes, that is, like, an entire day on set.
Even if you were like, because I think in his response or in somebody's response defending him, they were like, "Oh, he was only like he was at most like an hour too late." Like even that, it's like, it's annoying, but it's not unreasonable. Especially when you have an all day production like this. Like sure, like if you really have to be an hour or too late, then it's not the end of the world. But 7 to 8 hours is a lot.
Yeah, and, like, you can still get filming done, it's just if you're 7 to 8 hours late, that's basically an entire day on set. I say that as if I've been on a set, I never have, but it's basically it's an entire day.
I've been on the Universal Studios backlot tour, and from my experience on the Universal Studios backlot tour, 7 to 8 hours is a whole filming
Yeah, and
day.
I was gonna say on top of that, you're keeping your fellow castmates and the crew waiting on you, especially if you have scenes to film that day.
I think somebody said because unfortunately a lot of like Hollywood people are like independent contractors, right? So health insurance is not always in the deal that they take. I think that The Rock, somebody said, and I don't know if this is true, but somebody said that The Rock would often show up so late that they qualified for medical insurance because of the time that they were there on set because he was so late,
Wow.
which is kind of crazy.
It's crazy.
Um yeah. So reportedly the film's budget ballooned by about 50 million. I don't know if that was because of The Rock's tardiness, but I so The Rock would arrive to set tardy allegedly, right? Um which is really weird consider like I just feel like his whole like time priority thing is super weird because allegedly this is all alleged. This is all let's get the legal stuff out of the way. In Minecraft as a joke for educational purposes, allegedly the streets are saying this is an expression of opinion, not fact, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. We're good? Lawyers, we're good? We don't have lawyers. It's two of us. We're two of us.
We're good, we're good. These are our opinions, these are rumors, these are not confirmed.
Yeah, in Minecraft as a joke. Yeah. But apparently The Rock would also pee in water bottles, and the streets are saying it's a Voss water bottle. I
Ooh,
feel like that's very important for you to know. If I have to know, you have to know. Um,
thank you, now I know, and I wish I didn't, but
if I had to live with that knowledge, you have to live with that knowledge.
like, those things are expensive too, so why he's using them as toilets apparently or allegedly, I don't know.
But apparently, yeah, he would use a Voss water bottle to like pee on set in front of God and everybody. And then like a member of his team, or and this really got me, a member of his team, or like a poor Red One production assistant would have to go dispose of the waste. I don't know if they threw it in the trash. I feel like you're not allowed to throw away human waste in the trash can. I don't know sanitation laws, especially in where we live, but that feels illegal. It feels
But, like,
immoral at best.
I was gonna say, is he reusing the same bottle? Like, this is probably TMI, but is he reusing the same bottle or, like, getting a new bottle every time? Like, I don't
Do you think Dwayne The Rock Johnson is washing out his bottle?
Oh God, I hope not.
You know how you know how this is so gross. This is so TMI. But you know how like when you have to empty like a bottle into like a sink or whatever really quickly, you know how you spin it so it makes a
Oh God, you
vortex?
you should see the face. You should see the face I'm making right now. It is disgusting.
According to Esquire, I think, The Rock also has admitted before to peeing in water bottles at the gym because I think it was his gym like doesn't have bathrooms. Which what gym doesn't have a fucking bathroom, dude?
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure, isn't that like a law? You're supposed to have bathrooms in public spaces like gyms?
At least in The Sims, they won't let you save the gym, the lot as a functional gym unless you have a toilet in there. So
Yeah, that's really bizarre. Like, I know, I'm sure The Rock is at the gym for like hours at a time because he's, very muscly. But, huh? That's all I can say is, huh?
what? Especially because like he's so rich, right? One, like I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if he had like an at-home gym for the convenience, but maybe he likes to go out for a drive. I don't know. I'm not The Rock. Um,
Is he talking about like a public gym or his at-home gym? Because I know, like, for sure he definitely has one because I think I've seen it before.
I
But
have no idea. He just says like my workouts take so long. I don't want to waste the time going back and forth to the bathroom, which is like weird but understandable. Like if you like want to do the mental gymnastics to understand it, you could. You it's defensible is what I'm saying. But to have a to have a public facility or a gym that doesn't have a bathroom, like if it's in his in-home gym, just use the fucking bathroom. It's your house.
I was gonna
It's your
say,
house.
yeah, and I was gonna say, like, you and I both work out, and obviously during workouts you have rest periods, so it's not hard to use the bathroom during a rest period, even if it takes like a couple extra minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's it's crazy. I don't you could not like I would have to be on some kind of Bear Grylls survival shit if I was to pee in a water bottle. You
Yeah.
better trust and believe, bitch.
And like the weird part is like he's actually said this in an interview, you know what I mean? Like he's admitted.
He's confessed it in front of God and everybody.
So it's a little bit like, okay, number one, TMI, didn't want to know this. Number two, why?
Do you think Ava Rain is like embarrassed? Do
Yes.
you think she's embarrassed?
Yeah, 100%.
I get embarrassed when my dad says hola to the waiter at the Mexican restaurant. I could not imagine how Ava feels about her dad actively and consciously admitting that he pees in water bottles in public spaces.
During interviews too, nonetheless.
Speaking of Ava, so have you heard of the Rock's In and Out controversy?
Yes, I have, but for our viewers, you can
Okay.
recap it. 'Cause I've only heard the gist of it and I kind of got confused. So, like, please recap it.
I love telling the story. Okay. So, and I'll bring in why this connects to Ava in a little bit. But I live in California, right? I am In and Out girl through and through. That's what a hamburger is all about. This is not sponsored. I love In and Out though.
I've never had In-N-Out because we don't have it here. So, yeah.
It's not the best burger in the world, but it is very good for what it costs. I think like a hamburger there costs like maybe a few, like maybe 3 or 4 US dollars, which is insane in this economy.
I do know. And if you want a burger like that around these parts, you're paying at least $10-15 for it. So, like, 3 to 4 US dollars is great.
It's a steal. Um, but yeah, sorry, not sponsored by In and Out, but if they would like to sponsor us, I would shit my pants.
Yeah, that'd be great. We just like food and also burgers. I don't eat beef, but like I like a good chicken burger. You know what I mean?
Mm. Dude, they have this thing at In and Out. Sorry, ramble time. They have this thing at In and Out where it's called like a grilled cheese, but it's like it's all the fixings of a burger, but without the burger. So you have like your lettuce, tomato, and I think they put on like extra cheese and they put it on the griddle. Oh, it looks so good. I've never gotten it,
It
but
does,
it
and
looks
it,
so good.
honestly, it sounds like a really elevated grilled cheese, and grilled cheese are one of my favorite foods. So
I saw this post recently where someone was like, "Oh, if you make grilled cheese in a waffle maker, like you have more surface area to get soup for like tomato soup, right?" And like I'm like, "Yeah, perfect. Great invention. Thank you." And then I look to the comments and they're like, "Why are we acting like grilled cheese and tomato soup is a normal thing?" What?
it's a
What?
normal thing. It is a normal thing. I'm sorry.
People, people were in these comments like and I'm like this has to be rage bait Because I feel
Yeah.
like tomato soup and grilled cheese is like a classic, and like obviously like we're from the Western world, right? Like America and Canada. So, but I
Yeah.
feel like that's a classic, right? But people were
It
like,
is a
I need
classic.
people on social media to stop trying to make grilled cheese and tomato soup a thing. It's been a thing. What?
It's always been a thing. Hello. Where have you been?
It has to be rage bait. Like it has to be.
Yeah.
But
No,
anyway,
100%.
so back to the Rock and In and Out. So
Yes.
The Rock first went to In and Out, I think in 2017, because he wanted to get because his wife and I think her real name is Simone, which is a beautiful name by the way. I love Ava. I think she's come into her own so well. I love yes,
Yeah.
Simone. I love Simone. We stand her.
She's great. As a general manager, she's definitely improved because I will admit I was not the biggest fan of her at first, but like she's grown on me as an on-screen character. You know what I mean? And it's a lot better than Schism stuff. Sorry, Schism, but like no.
Oh, absolutely. Peace, love, and unity to Schism, RIP. But I think everyone involved in Schism is doing so much better than they were when they were in Schism, you know? But anyway, Ava, we love you. But yeah. The Rock was going in 2017. The Rock went to In and Out to get a meal for his wife and Simone, right? Ava Rain. And he posted on Instagram and he said, I've never been to In and Out before. I know, what an asshole. Which is like, okay, baby. Okay, like it's fine. It's fine if you've never been to In and Out before. You know, Liv, you've never been to In and Out before, and I don't hate you for it. But anyway, so that's in February 2017. He posts a glowing review of In and Out, and he's like, if Moana gets like what, an Oscar or something, yeah, an Oscar, then I'll come back, blah blah blah. And he marked it off hashtag newest and biggest fan, right? While Moana did not win an Oscar, 5 years later, he went back to In and Out, and he's like, "This is my first time at In and Out." Hashtag like cheat meal, whatever, because you know The Rock is famous for his cheat meals.
Like me.
So The Rock got two double doubles, which is like a double cheeseburger for those uninitiated, fries, and he paired it. Yeah, he got fries, and he paired it with two bottles of his tequila, and he's like, "This burger just made the list." Like he's fucking Chris Jericho. But this also implies that it wasn't on the list before. So either his 2017 visit to In and Out wasn't what he thought it was, which is, you know, why would he post that after the fact if it wasn't? Or two, he's lying. 5 years later, or he has dementia. Secret third option.
I was gonna say he has amnesia. Like he suddenly got amnesia and just forgot that he went to In and Out in 2017 and made a big deal about it on social media.
He slipped on a banana and hit his head, and he has amnesia now.
He didn't see the big yellow caution sign.
Yeah, he didn't see. Yeah, I think he fell on his back. He took a back bump and he spun like in Mario Kart
Yes.
when you hit a banana.
Yes.
He's like, "Wow!" Yeah. So in 2022, visits In and Out again to pair it with his own tequila, and he's like, "This is my first time at In and Out," and everyone is like, "No, it's not. we saw you. We saw you
He's
post the
lying.
hashtag newest and biggest fan of In and Out back in 2017. So something is not right here, you know." But it's like
Yeah, like what's the truth?
2023 rolls around, and he posts like a full ass Instagram reel onto his Instagram. He's like, "This is my first time at In and Out." This is the third time he said, "This is my first time at In and Out." Third documented In and Out excursion, baby.
No, once could be a coincidence, twice is no mistake. Like if you're claiming it's your first time once, fine, like you might have forgotten, but twice, especially in the space of a year, no way.
Yeah, like 2017 to 2022, like, okay, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, he has so much going on. Maybe he has dementia. I don't know. Knock on wood. Dementia is very scary. We are not making light of dementia. But like, you know, 5 years, he has a lot going on. Maybe he forgot. Whatever. Not the end of the world. But to say that he literally a year apart, if that, I don't know the exact like months, but it could be like just a few months apart. I don't know. But like a year apart and to make like a whole Instagram reel about it.
Yeah, right? And this man also definitely for sure has a social media team who must be tracking this stuff, but like
I'm gonna be real with you. If I was on the Rock social media team, I would be treating it like I would be placing bets.
yeah. Fair enough.
I would be treating it like a game. I'd be rubbing my hands together and be like, is he gonna say this is his first time or not? He could never hire me, is all I'm saying.
No, me neither. We would definitely quit in about, what, 30 seconds?
You would quit. I would stay for the drama.
Yeah, and then if you stayed, then you could just tell me all the drama, and then I wouldn't have to work there, and you could suffer for the both of us.
Literally, someone's gotta take a bullet for the team.
Yeah, you do that because you're also closer, so have fun.
But anyway, yeah, third documented in and out excursion. He really tried to sell us the fantasy. He's like, I didn't know where to pay. I didn't know what to order. I'm like, it's a burger joint. They have the menu right there because they come out. It's kind of like, oh, you guys don't have Chick-fil-A in Canada either. But you know how like at some like super busy fast food joints, like employees will come out with like their little tablets, and then they have the little thing that hangs off of their tablets that has like the menu and stuff, so you can order without actually having to go to the window because it's so crowded. It's like that in and out because in and out is always crowded. Um, but yeah, they have the little thing like right in front of you. But he's like, yeah, I didn't know what to order. I didn't know where to pay. It's a drive-through, buddy.
Also, no, how hard is it to order though? Like, it can't be that hard. You know what I mean?
You invented the people's elbow, dude. You came up with the great idea of peeing in water bottles, and you can't order at In and Out. Are you be so fucking for real right now, dude?
Also, doesn't he have young kids who are like bound to know about technology and stuff? You know what I mean? So he has to know something about tablets.
He's like, but I don't know, man. He was really selling us the fantasy though. So that's in 20.
His children are iPad. Like, Rock, your children are iPad kids. Come on, dude.
That is crazy. That's a crazy accusation. Do you think Ava Rain was an iPad kid?
To be fair, you and I are probably both iPad kids too, so I can.
I don't find community with me, bitch.
Fair. Like, I wasn't that bad with my iPad when I was a kid. Like, not like the kids today, but I was on it a lot, so I was a little bit of an iPad kid.
We were kids that grew up with unmonitored internet access. That's why we came out like this. But anyway, 2023, he's like, my first time at In and Out for the third time. And then in the comments of that video, it's either that video or the one in 2022, people are like, Moist exposed you. And if you don't know, Moist Critical or Penguin Zio on YouTube is like a esports guy. He also makes like very short expose rants. He covered The Rock's like In and Out saga, and at the time that I did the research, the video had garnered 7.5 million views.
Yeah, I remember you sending me the video, and I was like, oh my god, so many people have watched this.
I'm just saying, when Moist Critical makes a video about you, it's fucking over. Like,
Yeah, you fucked up at that
I'm not
point.
super into the esports realm, admittedly, but I know if Moist Critical comes after you, like, you're done. Like, you're done.
Yeah, I'm definitely not into the live stream or like esports realm because I didn't know who somebody was on Raw last night that was like a live streamer, and I was like getting roasted by one of her coworkers. I was like, I'm sorry.
Who was this?
It was what was the guy's name? Oh, I forget. Hold on. Yeah, hold on. I gotta find his name first because I know I didn't put it in my coverage last night.
Oh, was this last night?
Yeah, I was on Raw. It was some streamer guy. I forget his name.
What the fuck?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of celebrity appearance. Oh, Kai Sennett.
Oh my god. Okay,
I didn't know who he was, and it was really embarrassing.
Oh my god, no. I only know who that is because my day job, when I'm not doing wrestling, I teach Lego
Right.
to little kids. So I teach from grades like I typically teach from like kindergarten to 5th grade, and oh my fucking god. Dude,
They all know him.
yeah, they all know him, and I've had to learn what Phantom Tax was against my will. But yeah, The Rock has a few other controversies under his belt. He had one that was like pretty legitimate with the People's Fund of Maui. The 2023 Maui wildfires were obviously very devastating. Excuse me. And like he and fellow multimillionaire Oprah Winfrey tried to get people to donate to their campaign, and people were like, "You can single-handedly change a lot of lives without even feeling it financially."
Yeah, you can definitely cover the costs there.
But yeah, that's there is obviously We Want Cody. They kind of spun that into like a Rock heel character, and now they're cool or whatever because The Rock has to be on Netflix. I'm still mad about that. But yeah, the only really funny ones are In and Out and him peeing in a water bottle.
One is really gross and the other's just straight up like what the fuck?
It's so dumb, dude.
Yeah, but we love it.
On the topic of dumb things, if you are still here, then that means you appreciated our dumb takes and our dumb rants, and we really appreciate you for that. If you are listening on Spotify, please give us a rating. Let us know what you think about the podcast. If you have any suggestions for segments or controversies we should cover, please be nice in your comments, otherwise we will cry. If you are watching on YouTube, please go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It really helps us out a lot. We plan on uploading episodes every Friday, especially heading into Royal Rumble and WrestleMania season. Those episodes are bound to get spicy, so we really want you to stick around. Liv, do we have any social media presence that the fine people can follow?
I do. My social media handles are all at Live Love Wrestle, and we also have our social media for our podcast up above near the title. So please give us follows on Instagram and TikTok. We'll post little clips, funny clips, and keep you guys updated on those platforms as well. So definitely give us follows there.
Perfect. Make sure to follow us on all of our social platforms so you can stay updated on any episodes. And we really appreciate just being worth your time. We really appreciate you sticking through us through all the hiccups of our first episode. We hope to see you next Friday. And that's about it from Two Dumb Botches.